All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's open forum. As you know, you're probably wondering why there's a map of the United States on your screen, and what does that have to do with what we're talking about today? So what I want to show you guys, first I'm going to start with a little history lesson to tell you, kind of bring into focus what we're talking about today. So if you see Florida on this map and Georgia and Alabama, you'll see we're in U.S. Circuit 11 for the Circuit Court. So in several years ago, in the 1900s, a group of brokerages in Atlanta said, we do not believe we should have to pay for our local board just to access the MLS, because the MLS is necessary to do business and make a living in what we do. And why are these other associations? We don't feel like we should have to join these other associations for access to this particular device or tool that we need to survive. And the 11th District Court of Appeals agreed with them, or circuit, whatever you want to say. Anyway, it got fought in local courts, got all the way to the 11th Circuit, and it was ruled in favor of the group of brokerages, the main one being Thomson, the main plaintiff being someone named Thomson. So that is why it's called a Thomson brokerage. You may join this brokerage and have access to the MLS without joining the local board and any association of realtors, including the National Association of Realtors, the State Association of Realtors, and your local board of realtors. So that is where the Thomson name comes from. Do not be confused. It is not a different, it is still part of our FRI family. It is not it is not called the Thomson brokerage. You'll never need to know that. No client will ever need to know the name Thomson. You'll never need to know that again, except that it's called a Thomson brokerage, because you do not have to join the board of realtors, the National Association of Realtors, or the Florida Association of Realtors, or any of those states. The only circuit that has agreed with this is the 11th Circuit. It has been fought in every circuit, and only the 11th has agreed with the plaintiffs that the only place you can have a Thomson brokerage is Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. So that's the only place in the country, the only 3 states in the country where you can have this. So we have it. And that is why I showed you the map of the United States. So the 11th District is the only place in this entire map where you can have a Thomson brokerage. So let's talk about what a Thomson brokerage is and is not. A Thomson brokerage has access to the MLS. I'm going to pull up my email that I sent you guys, and we'll go over that. Let me blow that up for you. I know you can't see it all right now, but trying to blow it up. Hold on 1 second. Okay. And we'll get to your questions in just a minute. Let me go over this first. Okay. I don't know if you guys can read that. I'm going to blow it up a little bit more. Okay. So the advantage, you do not have to pay NAR, FAR, or your local board anymore. That should save you whatever those 3 together are. I know NAR is about 200, FAR is probably about the same, and the board's about 250, something like that. I don't know how they break them down exactly, but that should save you that. I think that number is probably going to go up, because now NAR owes, around 500 million. They're going to have to raise that money somehow. They can only sell your information so many times. Disadvantages. This is the important part. You may lose access to your lockbox apps. I think this new chaos with the in the Central Florida area with the Supra and the Century Lock, and I don't know how many boards are eventually, Aura says all the boards are eventually going to switch to that. These other boards do not. They seem to be like really making fun of Aura for switching and talking about how terrible it is, and trying to get you to join their board, or at least do their super key through them. If you haven't done that, you can do that. I recently did it. Carissa did it. A lot of our agents have done it. We have both now. That's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. And we will talk about this some more, but don't forget, we did business for many, many years with just regular code boxes. And now you're going to have to give out your daily code it's actually easier to use a regular code box than one of these, because you're going to have to give out your daily code all the time, because you're going to deal with people who don't have Century or don't have Supra all the time now. You cannot call yourself a realtor. You can call yourself a licensed real estate agent, a licensed real estate broker, a real estate broker. You can call yourself whatever you want as long as it's true. And you cannot call yourself, you cannot use the word realtor. If you've ever seen the word realtor that's put into something, it always has that little R next to it. It's a copyrighted term. So you cannot use that unless you are a member of their group, and you would not be. Does a regular consumer understand the difference between a realtor and a thing, or do they care? Probably not. You will have to sign a new agreement with us. Florida Realty Investments 4 has a different managing broker. So there's rules about this. You can have, and I'll go over all the brokerages and explain, but we had to have a different managing broker. It is Carissa's father is the managing broker, but it's still under our management. We are still making all the decisions or all the paperwork for it. Again, you do not have to switch. We are not moving your license. We're not doing anything to you unless you want to. There's been some confusion about that. Oh no, what am I going to do? You guys are switching. Absolutely not. You don't have to switch. We have all three options for you now. You can be a full, so here's the three kinds of brokerages. We have a full member brokerage. Most of you are part of that. If you're on this call today, you're a realtor and you're a member of NAR and FAR and your local board and the MLS, and you do not have to change from that. That is absolutely fine. Keep going on with your life like you've been doing. That brokerage is not changing whatsoever. We have a referral brokerage where you have none of that. You're not paying for anything and your license is active with us. You do not have to change from that. If you're doing that, that's perfectly fine too. Obviously it's hard to make a living. Like we talked about before, you don't have MLS, you don't have all the things. So, okay. So, and then we have this now, the Thompson brokerage, where you don't pay for the FAR, the NAR, and your local board, but you can pay for the MLS and you get the MLS. So that is a brief overview. I'm happy to take your questions that you have. I know one that I didn't cover on here that you're going to ask me for sure, but John, go ahead. John Crea. All right. Carolina.
Can you hear me now, Ryan?
Oh, yes, John. Sorry, go ahead.
My question is about the Supra. I have permission from all the surrounding boards cleared with my Supra key. And if I want to keep that, do I have to do anything? Or, I mean, do you have to resign from having that? Or can I just leave it the way it is being billed?
Just leave it the way it is. If you're going to do this Thompson thing, and again, guys, you don't have to. I'm not even encouraging you to. I don't care what you do. Okay, I want to be clear about that. We don't care what you do. We're not encouraging you to do this. We're just letting you know it's an option. I want to be very, very clear about that. We think a lot of people will be interested outside of our brokerage. We're going to recruit people to it, and we're happy if you guys want to do it. That's fine too. But let me answer that question. I'm not going to change, but if I did change to Thompson, I would not do anything. I would just keep paying for my app and using it. So I don't know that they ever check again. I don't know that it's not okay for you to do it. I have tried to get on the Supra website and join directly, and they don't really give you an option. So I don't know if that's not possible or if it is possible. I think it's possible. I think they'll do business with anybody if you pay them. But I don't know for sure.
So just leave that one alone.
You're already on it and you're paying. I don't think they're going to kick you off.
Okay, and then with the other ones, I traded in my Supra boxes for the boxes for here, and I have an upcoming payment and I pay on that, so I can belong to both then.
Absolutely. If you want to be a person who could go to do a last minute showing, you're going to have to belong to both. Because otherwise you're going to have to get a hold of a listing agent before you go show every single thing. And you guys have tried to ask listing agents for stuff before, and you don't always get them on the phone, as you know. Yeah,
no, that's a good point. Okay, thank you.
All right. Carolina.
Hello. So what I'm getting at is if I decide to do the Thompson brokerage, the benefits that I won't have is the NAR FAR, which right now it's being a realtor and whatever discounts they offer, and you save the 600 to 750. But I still have to pay for my MLS, and I have to be part of Aura. Is that correct? I don't have to be part of Aura.
Nope, you just are an MLS member. You're just like
okay,
like an appraiser or anybody, or just an MLS member.
Okay. Another question that I have, we still have to do the paperwork, like the new forms that we have. We do a listing and all that stuff. The issue may be just the Sentry key. Because
yeah. So that's the question I meant to cover before. So no, sorry, I'm sharing. Let me knock this down. That's the issue I was going to cover before. So yes, of course you are. This is an MLS deal. That's not a, you know, NAR. Okay, so here's the deal with the MLS. Almost all MLSs across the country are owned by associations. That's why they make you join their associations. That's got to be. I mean, I can't believe that's why it was struck down, because they're making you join their association because they own the thing. That's why Thomson was successful and they're suing them. And I can't believe it hasn't been that way all over the country, but that's the way it is, and it's here, so that's fine. But yes, it is. Those are MLS rules. Those are rules from the Department of Justice now because of the settlement that to protect consumers. So if it's on MLS, then it's covered. All right. So yes, if you use Thomson, anytime you use MLS, Thomson people are still MLS members. They're just not board members and all that stuff. Do you have a code of ethics? No. Just like commercial realtors don't have a code of ethics, and you know what? There's laws, and code of ethics is a made up group of rules. But it's almost all. If you look at the code of ethics, it's almost all about cooperation, and they're pretty much trying to outlaw cooperation. So that's you know. So there's no code of ethics in this. You don't. If there's a commission issue, it is not arbitrated by the board. It will go to actual procuring cause, which goes to a court. Small claims are a real court. So, say a real court. Small claims is a real court, but small claims are, court of law. So let me move on with this. I hope that answers your question. Yes, the rules still apply. Mark had sent me an email. Yes, Mark, the rules still apply. Mark had a couple other questions that he asked first. Yes, you still join MLS. No, okay. He's already paid his local fees and stuff. So the reason I want to do this now, and I explained in the email, you're starting to get hit. If you haven't yet, it depends on your association for renewal. So you won't be paying that renewal if you're going to do Thomson. Okay. And guys, there's Thomson is not the end all be all. I'm not trying to convince you to switch to Thomson, but that's one thing you won't have to pay. So yes, instead of $1,300 a year, roughly plus or minus, in your board and your MLS and all that, you'll pay about half that, whatever your MLS costs. Okay. And some of you guys, I know a lot of you guys aren't in. I mean, I see Sean on here. I see Terry. A lot of you guys aren't in the Orlando area. Obviously, lots of places all over Florida. And so this lockbox thing doesn't really apply to you, or a lot of you do run into Orlando. I mean, Sean's in Lakeland. I bet he runs into Orlando realtors all the time. So, that's you will have these lockbox issues and stuff anyway. Next, Rakesh.
So, Ryan, this Thomson, the benefit Thomson provides the same as, like, you will have access to the MLS but we have through Aura. But
your MLS access will look exactly the same.
Okay.
In some places it doesn't, but all of you in the almost everybody here, unless you're in Brevard right now, but you're because Brevard's different. They charge you almost as much for Thomson as you would for just joining their board. And so if you're in Brevard, just join their board. But the rest of us on the Matrix, gosh, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Stellar. Yes. Thank you. The rest of you on Stellar, it'll look exactly the same.
But one thing maybe help me understand this one. So MLS is not owned by NAR, correct?
MLS not owned by NAR. All MLSs are owned by different people, but they're almost all owned by the associations that you belong to.
Ah, okay.
So
Gotcha.
all of them. So Sean's in the East Polk or whatever he's in for his association. They own part of Stellar too, just like Aura, just like Lake and Sumter, just like West Volusia, just like Osceola. All of them own a bit of this Stellar.
So then Thomson is essentially sort of like Aura's competitor.
Well, I wouldn't say they're their competition. They've been around since the 1980s or something.
But it's like alternate option basically instead of Aura.
It's an option that they don't love. They don't love that there's an option to it, but it's the law. But they have to allow it because it's the law.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right, Vivian. Viv, you're on mute.
Hello.
There you go.
Hey, you guys. Listen, Ryan, I have a couple of ways I've explained this to people, and they thought it made sense. So let me throw it out here. All the years that we've been members of these associations, we paid dues and we voted as members. But there were mortgage brokers, insurers, etc., that were called affiliate members. They also had access to MLS. They also paid dues, but they were not voting members. So in a sense, we've shifted into an affiliate role on that. It's a lot like having, let's say, cable, and you want HBO, but you don't want Showtime, and you want Netflix. So you subscribe to what you want, but you don't get a vote. You just pay for it. Does that help anybody?
Well, probably. Thank you. I hope that helps. Probably. I've lost my order. Here we go. Sean.
Will Thomson offer the same benefits as NAR, such as legal advice and other things like that?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Nope. Pablo. Yeah, some of those things come with your board and come with NAR and come with all that stuff. I think, yeah, that's FAR, I think, gives you the hotline because it's Florida law. And I won't comment on their legal advice. Pablo.
Yes, good morning. If I switch to that, do I get a new MLS number or the ID number, or I keep the same?
Nope, you'll keep the same. You're just switching brokerages within our family, but switching brokerages. All your stuff with us will be the same. We're going to treat you guys all the same. We don't care what brokerage you're on, as long as you're one of ours. But no, when you switch from whatever brokerage, all of you, whatever brokerage you were with before to us, you didn't change your 9-digit number with MLS. It just changed your office ID. So your office ID would change, but nobody would. And you're guys, we are Florida Realty Investments IV 4, Florida Realty Investments 4. Okay. Terry.
Okay. This all sounds great. The only couple of questions regarding the NAR and FAR, which I don't think any of us are big fans of NAR at the moment. But with the super key, I don't have any super boxes. I never have, never would. Going on 20 years, never had to have one. But I do have this super key app in my phone to be able to open them. Do you think that's going to be affected at all?
No, absolutely not.
Okay,
so you're in Tampa, aren't you?
I'm in GTAR, which is Greater Tampa area. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it doesn't affect. Well, if you switch to this, I don't know if eventually they might kick you off because you won't be in GTAR anymore. So I don't know if eventually they'll kick you off. That's the unknown. That's why I said I don't know yet. We're working on figuring that out.
But and if I wanted to pay, I know we didn't with GTAR, it was automatic or basically forced you to support NAR and FAR. But if we didn't really want to support NAR, but I did want to support FAR, can I do that separately?
I don't believe that's an option.
Okay.
No, you can't be a realtor if you don't support NAR.
Okay, and that's my other question. All my business cards have realtor on them. So just keep those until I run out and then change it later, or
I don't think there's cops out there going to bust you for that.
Okay, I didn't think so. But and my other question is Thomson versus Florida Realty Investments. If I join Thomson, that doesn't change my affiliation with. I mean, I know you're saying you're in the same family, but that I still keep the name that I'm a representative for Florida Realty Investment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Florida Realty Investments for IV. Just like there's, I don't know what they're all called, but there are 1,000 Keller Williams at the parks, at the branches, over by the river, down the street, KW, and they all just say they're with KW.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
I don't know if they're around the corner or down the street or what.
Yeah, because mine I have to pay by the end of October, and it's usually, of course, it grows every year just like everything else. But geez, it's around $600 or $700 going on this coming year for GTAR, and I would much rather not shell that money out.
I understand that. Let me. Yeah, I understand that. I do get that, guys. There are not, and I want to be very clear about this. Somebody asked, or you get the same things you get from or whatever your local board is? No, you don't. You don't get the FAR hotline like Sean asked. You don't get the free legal advice. You don't get that kind of stuff that you get with your membership. There are things you get with your NAR membership. Somebody said discounts at things. Yeah.
Well, on that point, for me, I've never used anything ever.
I know, and it's funny, I laugh when you said you never used electronic lockbox. I never would have. Guys, we did a lot of business before electronic lockboxes, and everything was fine. What the difference cost with Thompson brokerage versus Aura membership? Mario, I hope I covered that since you asked. Yeah, you asked before we started. Thompson, same benefit. Why do you need new paperwork? I explained Carissa is not the broker for that. Carissa's broker for all the other ones. You cannot, and the reason is you cannot be a broker of a regular member brokerage and a Thompson broker. So her dad is the broker. So it's a whole new. She can't sign your paperwork to join. He does. What's the MLS cost under Thompson brokerage? It's the same that you're just buying the MLS. It'd be helpful to see a side-by-side comparison of 3 options. All right. We have the option plan of no monthly payment if we switch to Thompson. Yes. So, but I did explain to you the fees have changed, and it's not. So Svet just asked, is it $175, $350? No, it's going to be $199 and $399, just like anybody else joining here now. The paperwork has changed. And you guys send in your friends, it's $199 and $399 now, unless they already have their paperwork. That started September 1st. So $199 and $399. But yes, you still have the no monthly payment, but it's $399. Our training fee will increase because we have to sign a new contract. Yes, Jolanda, yes. It's just, well, anybody signs a new contract now is. So weigh that against the money you're saving too. Guys, I'm not trying to talk you into joining the Thompson brokerage. I don't care. We don't care a bit. We're just saying it's an option for you. We want you to understand that. We want you, you can tell your friends if they want to join. But like I've been telling you guys, none of your guys' fees, I just want to close every time I talk about the fees increasing. If you can hear my voice right now, nobody has, maybe one person has signed the new agreement, but they're not on this call. So nobody on this call, their fees have gone up. None of your fees are going up if you're on this call right now, unless you switch to Thompson, but just a little bit. Okay. So I just want you to know that. 10% for referrals. Yeah, that part's not changing. All right, let me get back to you guys. Steve. Steve, you might be on mute, but there you go. I hear you now.
So I'm wanting to come off of the referral brokerage, and I'm out of Brevard, so I guess my best option would be to rejoin the board. I have a 500K listing coming up in October, so I want to give the most exposure to that listing, and I guess to enter it in the MLS, I would need to rejoin the board.
Yeah, and so you don't. Yeah, I mean, Thompson is an option there, but it's because we've joined there as a Thompson broker, but we wish we hadn't because we found out all the fees and stuff they're charging you. So that one is owned only by that association, so they make it very difficult to. They make it price-wise not worth it to be a Thompson broker.
Okay, so I guess in my case, I just rejoin the board in October and do it that way, and then I'll be coming out of the referral brokerage. I guess you would need to send me additional paperwork to switch affiliations there.
Yeah, no, you're good on your paperwork because you signed the form that's for both brokerages. So
Okay.
both of the existing ones. So you're good. Just let me know when you're ready to join. Guys, if you ever want to go from the referral to the regular brokerage, just let me know when you're ready and I'll switch you over. But you've got to be ready, because if I move you to our member brokerage and you don't pay within a week, we get hit with you got to kick this guy off our brokerage.
Oh, October 1, but I'll let you know about a
Yeah,
week.
please remind me. Just I can move your brokerage. I can move your license in 1 minute online.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan. Everyone else.
You bet. Rakesh.
So I guess my question is, Ryan, on the but when if we join Thomson, we are not grandfathered into the fee structure. Looks like that we will be on a new fee structure, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Second thing is, if we do that, are we also like covered from the Thomson side or the Florida Realty side from
No, you're
Mission
not. You're
Commission?
Florida Realty. You're Florida Realty Investments all the way through. It's just a different brokerage under our name. Your Florida Realty Investments. The word Thompson never needs to come out of your mouth again.
Okay.
You don't need to explain to people you're a Thompson brokerage. You don't need to do anything. I mean, unless you're talking to other agents.
Okay.
But I mean, not other agents that are your friends. You don't need to tell anybody when you make them an offer, whatever. You're in the MLS. They're going to credit you on the MLS like they've been crediting you this whole time. They're going to put your number in or your name in, and it doesn't say that you're a Thompson brokerage. It's just a brokerage.
And as far as if I don't renew the NAR membership, right? And in the past, I have used a Realtor in my marketing or things like that. Does that goes back to that material as well? That in the past I have used a Realtor, but
you don't use the word Realtor in your marketing anymore.
Not in the future after I not correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Thanks.
Carolina.
Question about the leads that we get from FRI, like I do Up City and Prime Street. Would that still apply for the Thompson?
Yes, because you have to be a member of the MLS. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. That does not. Only people who can't do that are people in the referral brokerage, because it can't. I mean, you wouldn't refer somebody to somebody who's a referral broker, referral agent, because they can't even help them on MLS. Okay, Darlene, how to join? If you want to join, just let me know. I'll send you the paperwork. Do you lose your designations and certifications? That's a great question. I think you can still use them. I'm not sure you have them. I think you can still use them. I don't know that answer, Robert. It's a great question. I imagine that you can, even as a referral agent, I would put on there licensed real estate agent, whatever, GRI, et cetera. Would this be a good option for a two-person spouse team when one person is part of FRI and one person is part of FRI 4? I can tell you we have spousal teams where one is not even a FRI 4. They're just a FRI 2, which is a referral agent. And I don't condone sharing passwords or anything like that. So do not share your password. But if you leave your computer open, then you leave your computer open and somebody can help you. If we are part of the referral program, we switch to Thompson and sign up to Stellar. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Linda. Linda, you might be on mute. All right. Is there a place to get free legal help under Thompson? No, Gigi, there's not. There's not. We have attorneys who can help you, but
right, title companies
and title companies can help you. Depends on the thing. Is there a mod Thompson different, MLS Thompson different than Aura? No, the MLS is exactly the same. It doesn't know what your brokerage is. They treat everybody the same. Nikki, morning. I'll be interested in moving to Thompson. Let me know about that. Nikki, text me about, or don't text me. Email me about it. Yes, FRI business cards, guys. We're still FRI. You're still FRI. Nobody knows the difference. Whatever. You will use FRI 4. You can keep using your FRI ones till you run out, but they get the FRI 4 ones next time. FRI, Florida Realty Investments, IV. which is Roman numeral for 4. No, you still FRI. Sandy.
Just to clarify, if I move to Thompson, I will be paying the $3.99 in my fee.
Correct. Yes. If you don't do the monthly fee, yes. Yes.
Okay. But if not, we stay like forever with a $3.50 because I started a long time ago.
Yes.
Correct.
You started last week.
I don't even, no, I don't even remember when I enrolled with you guys.
Long time ago. I know that.
Yes, I know.
All right. Anwar, it's $3.50 for you, unless you switch to Thompson, because you'll have to sign a new agreement. It's $3.99 for new people who are joining beyond September 1st. So from now on, anybody who joins is $3.99. You have been here, you are $3.50. If you switch to Thompson, it's going to be $3.99 because it's going to be new paperwork for you. Vivian.
I have been telling people I am a Gold Key founding member for 7 years. I have not been a realtor. I think you can continue to use your designations. You've earned them.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't know that for sure, but good. I agree with that stance. I agree with the thing. Barb, so Barb brought up something about Washington State, and they are going through. Washington State has refused, some of the associations in Washington State have refused to go along with this NAR settlement, and they're still offering compensation. They're going through a lawsuit about it, of course, and all that stuff. They are not association owned MLSs. So that is why they are able to do that. That is just a handful of, I think it's only in Washington State, there's a handful of associations or not MLSs that are doing that. Yes, the answer is FET. I believe that's the case. You ride out your Aura membership until it expires, and then you can switch to Thompson. I would do that. There's no reason. They're not going to refund you your money anyway. There's no reason to quit Aura. They're not going to refund you anything anyway. So, if we don't Aura dues by October 1st, we change the Thompson membership. Yeah, so it will change your transaction fee. But your MLS number will still be the same. All right. I think that's all the questions for now. Anything else before we move on? Because we've got some other interesting things to talk about too. I'm going to answer a question we got moving along. Do we need the buyer brokerage agreement for rentals? You do not need them for rentals unless you're charging the client just to look. Okay, so if you're charging them just to look, then you need to have an agreement with them, just like before, guys. That hasn't changed. So if you're going to show a tenant properties, you do not need a BBA unless you're going to charge them. This particular agent is charging $150 just to show them properties, and then she's getting 15% of the monthly fee after the lease is signed. So if she does a $2,000 lease, $2,000 a month, she's getting $300 plus the $150. So you have to put that on the BBA. You have to put the maximum amount you're going to get. So if you're charging a $150 retainer or a minimum of $150, you want to put, I don't know what you want to put. So that's where it's gotten confusing because you can't just put plus open-ended amount on a BBA. So you have to put an amount. In this case, if you think that this is the case, then go ahead and have them sign the 150 plus, I would say plus 500 and or whatever will cover that. You can always accept less. Okay. So that's the answer to that. You write it, the 150 goes in the retainer section. Or you can do 15% of the monthly fee plus 150 in the rental section. So the rental section is right below the sales section on there. When it comes to compensation, it says, I don't know the line number, Mouse, I'm not looking it up, but it's on that page. It's right under it's in the compensation. It's right under where you would put for a sale, right under the normal one you would use for a BBA. So right under where you would put a buyer. This is Malvis's question, everybody, in case you guys didn't figure it out. She's asking follow-up questions. So it's right under that line. Please let me know you found it. We just had somebody with a hand up. What other questions did we have? Oh, I want to talk to you about this. So this is something we were worried about, and it actually has happened, and that is the variable commissions that people are wanting to do now. So we had an agent with a listing, and it gets a little more complicated than that, but it's a listing, and it will, let's just go ahead and tell you, it was her own house, and it's a listing. And someone said, what are you offering cooperating broker, right? Like anybody would ask. And she said 2 or 2.5, depending on the offer. Fair enough, right? So they offered something that was a little bit above asking price, but with a concession for the buyer so the buyer could pay, so the buyer could get some help to start with. And then separately, a 2.5% agreement sent with the offer, a seller's broker to buyer's broker compensation agreement sent with the offer for signature at 2.5%. But they weren't offering full price. They were offering full price minus concession, right? So that is up in the air still. We do not have that established. Guys, when you don't have something established like that, they do not have to sign both things. And so what happened is this agent signed everything, but changed the commission. And now we don't have the buyer's agent is not guaranteed her commission, right? So they signed the commission, sent it back. Now the buyer's agent's going to have to initial off on the change of commission, which she does not agree to. So I got this phone call from both parties, our agent and the other agent, both mad, and they're fighting over a couple $1,000s. So what I'm telling you is make it part of the contract. If you don't have it nailed down, make it part of the contract. If you don't have a signed agreement back before you submit the offer, make it part of the contract. Write it in the additional terms, okay? But seller's broker will pay buyer's broker 2.5% or whatever it is, 3% or 8%. I don't care what it is. Just make sure you have it written down. Does that make sense to everybody? Do not send a compensation agreement hoping for the good judgment of somebody else. What if she didn't sign it at all? You know, she said 2 to 2.5%. So you could get that much. You could go to arbitration and get that much, 2 to 2.5%. You go to court and get that much. But why not? Why would you do that, right? Because she texted her 2 to 2.5. What if she hadn't returned her text at all? And you guys have done that. You guys have sent stuff, a compensation agreement with the contract. I've already heard you guys do it. That's a mistake, because if they don't sign either one, what if the seller's not offering anything? You never got anything back from them. Put it in the contract what you want, and you can put a full 3%. You can put 3% nowadays. If I call Sean about his listing and he tells me we're paying 1%, I can put 3% in the contract. You can take it or leave it, because my buyer owes me that, and my buyer has to negotiate that with somebody. So all the buyers and sellers are negotiating now, since they both owe you. We've been over this, but since they both owe you individually now in writing, the seller owes the listing agent regardless, even if they're not offering you anything, and your buyer owes you if you're the buyer's agent, right? You can put it in the contract. They can't negotiate you out of it because you have separate agreements. All they're negotiating is how you're going to get paid. And if the buyer doesn't work something in that contract for you, they're going to come out of pocket and pay you. So there you go. And your buyer is going to understand that, because you're going to tell them every time somebody counteroffers or whatever, look, I put my commission in here. They're trying to cut it out. You're going to have to pay me out of your pocket if you don't work it in. All right. Carolina.
Okay. Since we're doing this, I'm doing a listing agreement today. And on the listing agreement, the contract that they're going to sign, right, to, I have that I'm charging 6% to list this house. But on the bottom, I put that the seller agrees that I pay the buyer's agent 3%. Do we still need to do all this other stuff if the seller agrees that I am going to be paying the buyer's agent? Do they still have to, like?
So here's what you're going to do, Carolina. That's great. That's the best kind of listing to have. That's just like old school, like we would have done last year, right?
Done.
Okay.
And I do the disclosure saying that they can negotiate that. Like the disclosure.
Oh, you don't have to. It's on the form. It's on the listing agreement now. You don't have to.
Oh, I don't have to do that. Oh, great.
No, it's on the list. But it is on every piece of paper we have now. So don't worry about it. Those are only for the older listings that they did not have that written on them.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about this. That's great. Here's the only thing you need to do is fill out the seller's broker to buyer's broker, put Florida Realty Investments, put 3%, put the address, and be ready to shoot it out to Sean when Sean wants to see your property. Okay. And every other agent, Sean and Vivian and Steve and Sandy and Pablo and Rakesh and everybody else and Ryan, anybody who wants to see it. That's everybody on the screen right now. Anybody who wants to see it.
The thing that I'm noticing about this whole change, and I don't know if other people have experienced this, I had a rental listing. Not one person contacted me, a realtor. Everyone who contacted me were the actual tenants wanting to rent the home. So do people experience that now doing this, that you don't have to offer compensation, that everyone is going through the listing agent, including the buyers?
I think that's going to happen more, but I think that's mostly a rental thing. I mean, yeah, nobody's out there trying to, you know, renters are calling our agents right now, and our agents aren't calling them back because who wants to deal with a rental?
Okay.
You know, I mean, you've done that before. People have been like, "Oh, Carolina, I got a great client for you," and then they want to rent a two, and you're like, "Oh gosh."
Right. But
so
I did the
I think they're doing you a favor.
And I rented the home because they contacted me directly through realtor.com, through wherever.
Yeah, they're seeing it on Zillow and Realtor and Homes.com and everything else. Yeah, they're seeing it everywhere. Apartments.com, they're seeing it everywhere. Our, you know, MLS IDX is to all over the place, and it's done all over the place.
Trying to keep it simple.
Yeah. So I do want you guys to work with renters. I just know it's not that exciting. And so if they're calling agents, they can just call directly so often. So they're probably going to. That hasn't been a huge thing with sales yet. Is it going to be? It's going to be more than it was before, but still not that often. But that's great for listing agents. So get your listings. Ingra.
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry, Ryan. My computer does show the name of the company I work with, but my name is Chris, so I'm sorry. Just going back to the previous question really quick, and now that you mentioned it, if we do list a property and we do the change to Thompson, does the property listed on the MLS will be listed on realtor.com as well, even though we're not realtors?
Yeah, they're getting it from there. Yeah, they don't care about that.
They don't care, right? It will be listed over there as well.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
They will not distinguish that.
All right, now the other question in reference of the exclusive buyer brokerage agreement. I was told, I attend to one of the sessions that they offered at Aura, and they explained to us that, let's say we get a listing that does offer a bonus, and the bonus is not listed on this agreement, then we will not be eligible for the bonus?
That's correct, unless you modify the agreement, which is what you should do.
Modify it before we go to...
It's a modification to the buyer brokerage agreement that you should use, yes.
Okay, all right. That was the two questions. Thank you so much.
You bet. Good luck. Vivian.
Is there latitude when we do the BVAs to put in up to 3%, up to 5,000?
Nope. There's no up to, there's no range. You're not allowed to do a range. They were very clear about that, not allowing a range. You have to put that. Now you can accept less than that. You can put 3% plus 100,000 and always accept less than that, but you can't do up to whatever, you know, so you just have to be answered that buyer's question. Like, what do you mean, you know, 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever? And you're going to say, oh, that's in case they offer me a bonus. And they would be like, well, no, this says I owe you that. So it's difficult to do. That's why you just modify it later. I think I think the bonuses are going to go away a little bit, hopefully in favor of a little bit better commission. But we'll see. You know, they're going to entice you somehow. But I think like the builders mostly are offering the bonuses. And I think that they're, you know, we've gotten one. We had somebody had to modify an agreement last week. So it's happening. They're still getting bonuses, but I don't know how long that's going to do. I think some agents are going to have a hard time getting their buyers to sign modification agreements without splitting the bonus with them or something. You know, why is a buyer motivated for that? Buyers never even known about your bonus before. Unless they're real savvy at reading settlement statement. Any other questions? Let me check the chat. Oh, Malice. Seller is listing her home, has kids playground, patio that has a slide, swings, on all that. Seller is thinking the playground is negotiable, so is thinking be sold outside of the sale of the house. Yeah, it needs to say unless it's negotiated out. They can remove it before it goes on the market. If it's not there for showing, then it's fine. Is it the playground part of the home sale? Yes, it is. That's definitely a fixed. Unless they can distinctly remove it from the contract and put that on the MLS, or they can remove it or whatever. But yeah, if it's there when I see it and it's attached to the ground, I assume it's staying just like a shed or anything else.
So
Next.
also when people remove things, when people remove things because they don't want them to convey, or sometimes I had a buyer ask for something to be removed and then complain because they left holes in the drywall. I said, well, you asked them to remove it, but you never said that they needed to repair it. And right. I personally wanted to ask them to repair it. And she said, oh, no, don't worry about it. And then it didn't happen. So you have to be so specific about those things. Also, like hot tub does not convey. We're used to seeing things like that, right?
Yeah. Well, a hot tub, and it's sitting there on the ground. They're usually not affixed because they're heavy. But yeah, and yes, and you would want to put that on there. And most people, people can take or leave hot tubs too. Victoria.
Oh, hi, everybody. Ryan, I just want to clarify with the commission for the buyer's agent, we are just writing the commission amount right in the comment section of the as-is contract, right? And having everybody.
The additional
terms.
No, you don't have to write it in there. So if they're covering it, or if they're offering, if you have 3% on there and I'm offering 3%, or Carolina's new listing is offering 3%, that doesn't need to be anywhere in the contract. She's going to give you that separate agreement, that compensation agreement, buyer's broker to seller's broker.
Okay.
Seller's broker to buyer's broker.
Okay. I've been getting like contracts for a property, and the buyer's agents are just writing it into the term section. So I was like, so is this how we're doing it, or?
That's fine. It's the Wild West right now. That's what I kind of want to cover. Oh, I never even I kind of finished my story. I did. It's the Wild West right now. And so I talked to this other agent. I talked to our agent, and I said, look, nobody knows what's going on yet. People are still, going back and forth with this. But that was a mistake by the buyer's agent to not have it settled before they sent their offer, and set it separately by commission agreement the compensation agreement that is not necessary to sign to have a contract. It's not, it was not an addendum to the contract. It wasn't necessarily signed. So if they're putting in the contract, they're just trying to make it, they're protecting themselves is what they're doing. And as long as it's the agreeable amount that you told them, there's no harm, no foul. Who cares? Because your seller is going to say, yeah, I mean, what does this mean? That's what I already told you I would pay. And you explain to your seller, that's not an additional 3%. That's the 3 we already talked about. It's in the listing agreement, right? So, or whatever it is, 3, whatever it is. So that's it.
Okay. And then my other question is that, so it sounds like we're trying to get this all signed in agreement before they go see the property. But my concern is that once they find out that my buyers really like the property, that we're preparing to send in an offer, do you think that they can never change the commission amount if we don't get it signed right away?
They can never change what's in their listing agreement. They can't change that for you just because you like the property. So I would not have it necessarily signed. Just have them, as long as they text you, they're paying 2.5% or 3% or whatever it is. If they've texted that to you, they're telling you that. Okay. You don't have the agreement signed before you show it or make an offer. But that's why I want Carolina, when you ask about Carolina's one, I want her to shoot you off a text, an image of that form, or email you the form. You don't have to have it signed. She's the one offering you something, offering you commission. You don't have to sign it and send it back to go see the property. You've got it, right? You've got it in paper.
Yeah.
So you can sign it later when you submit the offer.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Because she's the one, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. She's the one offering something. So she's the one. She's the one who needs to sign.
It's called the compensation agreement, seller's broker to buyer's broker.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's on Paperless Pipeline. It's already filled out with stuff on there too. But put we're the seller's broker. Put the address and put the 3% and have it ready to fire off. Sign the bottom and have it ready to fire off to whoever. All right, Daryl.
It is crazy out there. I've had, what, 5 showings in the past week. Not one buyer's broker has asked what the commission is. Not one. I have to send them over a test before they show it to say, hey, by the way, I'm paying 2.5. Oh, okay, thank you very much.
They're not used to it. Nobody's used to it. Not everybody is training, apparently.
It's just crazy.
It is. I don't think a lot of brokers are training their agents. I don't know if they haven't talked about it, or a lot of agents don't go to training.
They're like, oh yeah, I forgot to ask. Thank you very much.
like, oh yeah, I got to get paid. That's right. Yeah. It's funny, and it's because it's true. I know it. Ania, can I ask on the BBA 3%, seller only pays 2%, the buyer needs to cover the missing 1%, right? Yes, if you're going to hold their feet to the fire for the 1%, feel free. You need to cover it somehow. But a lot of times you can put that in the contract and say there's a concession of 1% toward the buyer's closing costs and prepaids, which you are closing cost and prepaid now. Or you can put directly on there to pay their buyer broker for their obligation to the buyer's broker through their buyer brokerage agreement. Okay. I hope that answers that question. But yes, they are responsible for it. And they need to know that when they sign one, you're responsible for 3%. We're going to try to get that from the seller. Just so you know, I'll do my very best to get that from the seller, but you're responsible for 3%. And when you go back to them and say, just so you know, on this one, they're only offering 2%. So we're going to go for another 1% that you owe me plus anything else we need, any other concession we might need through the contract. And that's where you would put that on the contract and the additional terms. All right. Any other questions? I hope I answered all your questions on the Thompson brokerage. Guys, I want to be clear one time. We're not trying to get you to join the Thompson brokerage. I don't care if any of you switch. If some of you switch, what you want to do, it's just an option that we're offering you. I think it's going to be something that's a little bit of demand out there in the market for your other agents who are not happy with anything. I'm not going to go into details, but not happy with any kind of representation they've gotten from NAR or FAR or their local board or what they're getting out of their local board. And this is an option. Not a lot of people are doing it, obviously. It's why a lot of you haven't heard of it. But we are, and we're uniquely able to do it. We have the infrastructure to do it. We have the additional broker that we need to do it. So we're all set to do it. And so we're just offering that to you guys, and we're offering it to the rest of the world. You guys are all got it pretty good. So if you want to switch, you can. If you don't, don't. I'm not trying to talk you into it at all. I don't care. We're happy with you, whatever you're doing. So we want you to be happy. Any other questions before we go? So I'll get to you, Mary Lou, in a second. If you get paid less than what you have in BBA, do you need to modify the BBA to take the lower service fee? Nope, you're just being a nice guy. Just like also you're going to get hit, and it just happened the other day. Somebody got hit for $800 for a washer and dryer. You can always give away money. So if you don't want to, you're entitled to that money. But if you don't want to chase it, then you don't need to change your agreement. You just say, I'm a nice guy and have a great day. I look forward to working with you again in the future. Maybe make up some form they sign to say that you're a nice guy and a nice lady or whatever you are, and have them sign that off. Rakesh, if you get, okay, never mind. Mary Lou. Mary Lou, you might be on mute, Mary Lou. Okay, we're going to go on to Rakesh.
So Ryan, this one is I don't know if any other person experienced this on the call, but I thought to bring up to this discussion. So recently I got somebody reached me that, hey, I'm looking for a home, and this guy say I'm in Houston and etc. From the name looks like a Chinese guy, and I said, okay, yeah, what kind of home you're looking, etc. Signed him, make him sign the BBA. And he sent me like a proof of funds, etc. So I'm working on scheduling a showing, and the listing agent said, hey, we need to see a proof of fund because it's expensive multi-million-dollar home. And I did send them that. Okay, they said, oh, we got the same exact proof of fund from 2 other agents, basically. So I don't know if you guys have seen it. And funny enough, that guy sent me like a copy of supposed to his driving license with kind of addressed, kind of blacked out. Is there anything can be done, because this seems definitely like a fraud or a spam, something trying to.
Yeah, the only thing that can be done is for you to get away from them.
Okay.
Just get away from them. There's nowhere to report them to the FBI. We've tried to do this. There nobody. I hate to say this, nobody's chasing these people.
Sure. Okay.
And they'll try to get you on WhatsApp and get you, through all this stuff, and it's just a scam some type. I don't even know what they're trying to get at, but it's a scam of some type.
I know. Yeah.
All right. At the very best, if it's not a scam somehow, it's definitely a waste of time.
It is. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Juliana. Oh, Mary Lou, let me go back to you. You must have got kicked off. Let me go back to you. Mary Lou.
Yes. Hi, Ryan. I just want to know one thing. I think 1 week ago, I tried to schedule the appointment, and then I asked the listing agent, so will the seller pay the buyer's agent commission? They said yes. They taxed me for 2.5 or 3%. So it's not necessary to get the signed contract before the offer in, right?
Right. If they said, yeah, as long as they're specific about it. So what I don't want to see is, 2% if it's a good offer, 3% if it's a great offer. I don't want to see that kind of stuff unless you have that in writing. And that kind of stuff you just put in the contract. So you put your contract in with your good or great offer, it doesn't matter, and your 3% or 2.5%, whatever it is you're going for.
Okay.
And let them deal with the price, not with your commission.
Okay, understand. Okay.
Right. And explain to your buyer, look, you can't negotiate this down. This is not negotiable because you owe me. It's on this agreement.
Okay, understand. Right. Okay, thank you.
All right. They can negotiate it down with the other side, but that just means they'll have to come out of pocket. So it doesn't do them any good. Just let them make sure they know that. Next question, Juliana.
Yes, hi. Just to clarify, if I go to the Thompson brokerage, my fee is gonna go up to $3.99. That's per closing.
Yes. The 350 changed to 399.
99.
That's for anybody joining our brokerage, of any of our brokerages starting a few days ago.
Right. And then do I need to let them know that I'm not gonna renew NAR and FAR and all those things? The board?
No.
I don't.
Eventually you do. Don't do it yet. Just let them know you're not going to renew when it runs out. Yes. So eventually, they're not bothering you for money now. Right now, if you're in Aura, I know Aura is giving you a discount if you do it early or whatever. They're not harassing you for money yet. It feels like they are, but they're not. Some of you guys know what it feels like when they really harass you. So just wait it out and then let them know. Okay. I wouldn't alert them.
But I won't.
You don't need to switch until it's about to run out.
Right.
So I wouldn't recommend any of you guys quit. I'm sorry, Juliana. I wouldn't recommend any of you guys quit the board or join Thompson right now if you're already a board member. If you're a referral broker, a referral agent, that makes sense because now you'll get MLS. But right now, if you already have the board, stay with the board and all your memberships that you've already paid for through the end of the year or whenever they run out, and stay with them. And then if you want to change at the end, then let me know.
Okay. And there won't be
all your free legal and all that stuff now. Do not resign from the board until your membership expire.
Right, for it to expire. But there won't be any fees or anything if we don't renew.
If you try to renew with them later, there might be a reconnection fee or something.
Okay. And the boxes. They'll take the boxes?
No, they're not going to take your boxes. No, those are your boxes. You paid for them at some point. Those are your boxes. They're not going to take your boxes, and they will continue to work until they don't. And I don't know if that ever stops as long as you're paying the Supra or Century. I don't know if that ever stops or not.
Right. So we still pay the membership for the Supra and the other boxes.
If you want to use them, yeah.
Right. Okay. Yes. Okay. That's it. Thank you very much.
Unknown. I do not take any responsibility for that. Them keeping you on there or taking you off, because I don't. That's an unknown at this point.
Okay, sounds good.
But I can tell you, life does not end if you can't use those boxes, especially now, because so many of agents are going to be calling you. If you guys have listings, so many agents are going to be calling you because they can't get into Supra or they can't get into Century. And so right now, or if you become a Thompson broker, or if you're if you're anybody on MLS and you see these instructions, you can contact these people. They're not going to know why you're asking. They don't care why you're asking. Can I get into your listing today? Yeah, here's the code for today.
Right. Are there any fees with Thompson? Do we need to
the MLS? The MLS.
The MLS, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, you're a regular paying member of the MLS, so it's the same charge.
Right. Okay. Got it.
All right. Let me see, Lavette.
Yeah, I was gonna lower my hands because you just answered the question. Yeah, I was just
not a member, a subscriber.
Okay. I'm sorry, Lavette, go ahead.
Yes, I was just gonna lower my hands. You kind of answered the question with Juliana with the lockbox and Aura and how that would work when we switch to Thompson, if we switch to Thompson.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I got some clarity. So
I don't know how you got clarity out of my answer, but that's great that you did. I love it.
I'll figure it out.
I don't have clarity, Lavette. Sean.
In regards to training, are you representing both brokerages?
What do you mean?
Thompson. I mean,
nothing changes. You're going to see my beautiful face every week. Nothing changes. This is my third brokerage, so referral agents are on here right now too. So
okay.
Yes, all of our family of brokerages is our family of brokerages. We don't care which one you're on. Treat you all the same wonderful way, or terrible way, depending on your personality. Any other questions? Any other questions? Let me see what I got in the chat. Daphne, when that time comes, if you're a referral agent now, then the time is fine to change to Thompson. If you are not, just run out the clock with your board. And guys, I'm not trying to talk you into changing to Thompson. Please, I don't know how many times I got to say that on this call. Is it as good? Probably not. It is better to be a member of all this other stuff. It just costs more money. So is it as good? I don't know. Lucia. Lucia, you raised your hand. I don't know. Are there? Well, okay. You might be on mute. All right. Any other questions before we go? I hope this has answered all your questions to the best of my ability. Kathy, did you have a question? You said you did ask a question on here. You said $199. That's for new people or people who switch to Thompson. Anybody who has to sign new paperwork starting now. So when you send your friends to FRI, don't tell them $175 and $350. Tell them $199 and $399. You're still good for $175 and $350. Nobody that can hear my voice right now has had their fees changed or will ever have their fees changed. Okay, unless you switch brokerages. So if you can hear my voice, we're not raising your fees. That's all I want to say. All right, Kathy, did you have a question beyond that?
No. I just wanted to know if the $199 and the $399, that was going to be both things together is what makes up our fee every time we have a sale.
No. It's either or. So those of you who pay the monthly fee for the expert closer program only pay $199 per closing, or right now $175. I'll just do that, $175 and $350. Right now it's $170. Everybody can hear my voice. Your fees are $175 or $350. If you pay the $30 a month, which it is right now, then your fee is $175 every transaction. If you pay nothing every month, then your fee is $350 per transaction. That's just a different, and we treat you all the same. You're all in the same closings or same trainings. You're all in the same everything. So, Kathy, for people who either pay that fee a bunch of times for their clients, or their own investors and close their own properties, obviously, then they pay the fee. Those people, and there are a couple hundred of you who pay a monthly fee and then get the $190 or the $175. Okay. And there's even more of you who pay nothing every month and get the $350. Then those fees, instead of $175 or $350, are going to go up to they have gone up now to $199 and $399, but not for you guys. That's for anybody who's signing paperwork from this point forward. I hope that explains it. But that's just our expert closer program. Kathy, if you're not paying a monthly fee, you are on the professional negotiator program. You do not need to remember those. You just have no monthly fee and you're $350.
Thank you very much.
I hope that explains it, but it's never both fees. You only pay one or the other. Okay. And it depends on whether or not you're paying us monthly. So if you're not paying us monthly, then good for you. We only make money when you make money. Any other questions?
Oh, Ryan.
Yes, Victoria.
Sorry, buddy. It's taking me a little longer to process this Thompson program. If we switch over, will we still have access to the MLS?
That's the only, yes, that's the whole point. You'll have access to MLS without the board and all that stuff.
Okay,
Without
and then the new
board
lock and the new lock boxes, they should be okay too, right?
And, if you're already a member, you're probably fine staying on until they kick you off. That's what I couldn't answer that question. I don't know the answer to that. That's the great unknown. How long they'll let you stay in there. They might be forever because they're not really related. You just had to be a member of the board to get them. I don't think they're going to keep checking, but they might.
Okay, and then each closing, the fees would be
$199 or $399, whichever program you're on.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
All right, you bet. Frederick, I bet I know what your question is.
Yes. You see it on text?
Yes, I saw it on there and I forgot about it, so I apologize.
That's okay.
Yeah,
So
you just asked me to clarify the language. And the language was for the—
Well, can you give a
question,
practical example, please?
Yes.
Why you would even do that?
I'll take Ania's question exactly. She said, what if they owe you 3% on the BBA, but the seller's broker is only offering 2%, or the seller's only offering 2%? And you asked about the language that I said too fast, which was that the buyer and seller agree that seller will give a concession of 1% toward the buyer's closing costs and prepaids. You can either put in order to satisfy their buyer brokerage agreement obligation or not. It is considered a closing cost by lenders, by everybody who cares right now. It is considered a closing cost. Yes, George, good point. Your local board, not just Aura, all your local boards offer training and all that kind of stuff. You will not get that with this. You can go, but it's obviously you got to pay full price, whatever it is. Typically those trainings are like $10 or $19, and instead they'll be $50 or $75. So, it costs money. And don't quote me on those prices, but I only know what the member prices are. I don't know what the non-member prices are, but I know they're higher. CE classes from title agents, et cetera, get your license fulfilled, your license requirements fulfilled. Absolutely. But I just do it online. Any other questions or comments? Anything before we go? Any other questions? All right, guys. So to clarify, we don't care if you change the Thompson or not. Just want to let you know, we don't get anything from it. It's just something we're doing. And that's it. Any other questions? All right, hang in there. You guys are doing well. You guys are doing well with the things I'm seeing are mostly from other agents and other things. You guys are doing great with the changes. Everything I've seen from you guys is good. So I love it. Keep up the great work. You guys seem to have it handled. If you don't, let me know. Email me is the best way to reach me. Guys, I get so many texts that they go off the bottom of the screen, or I open them and I'm in the car or in a meeting and I can't respond to them. So please, email is the best. Phone call second best. I can take phone calls or return phone calls. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Keep up the great work. Bye, everybody. I want to reiterate one last time before we leave. If you are a full member of the MLS and your local board and all that stuff right now, don't switch to Thompson yet. Even if you want to switch, wait until you're about to expire. No reason to give up the benefits that you have now. You've already paid for the year. They're not going to prorate you and give you any money back. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.